All right, this is third grade, Module 7, Lesson 3. And in this lesson, students are going to continue working on word problems. They're going to continue doing that RDW protocol where they read the question. They're going to draw their representation of what's going on, and then they're going to write some sort of solution method. The idea of this lesson is really just to have students practice that art of problem solving. So parents and teachers, for this lesson, for the homework, there's like 5 questions. So really, the focus is problem solving, and sometimes problem solving takes time. So if 5 questions is too many and it starts to turn this homework assignment into a very long marathon, cut the assignment short. Because really the focus is on problem solving, and if we can't solve all 5 of the problems, that's fine. Focus on what you can do in a nice, normal, humane, timely manner for homework. So let's get started.
So we've got Jerry, and Jerry pours 86 millimeters of water into 8 tiny beakers, and he measures an equal amount into the first 7 beakers, and then he pours the remaining water into that 8th beaker, and there is 16 millimeters in that last 8th beaker. The question is, how many millimeters of water are in each of the first 7 beakers? Okay, so what does that mean? So it means we're supposed to have 8 beakers. So there's 1 beaker right here, and we need 8 of those. I'm going to do a little bit of fanciness here. So we're looking for 7, and we need a beaker. So here's my beaker. There we go. And I want 8 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so here's my 8 beakers. And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do I have too many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's 8. Okay, so there's my 8 beakers. Now, what we're told, though, is this 8th beaker, there's 16 milliliters. 16 milliliters. And we know that the whole thing is supposed to be 86 milliliters. So doing a little bit of subtraction, we're going to do, 86 subtract 16, we get 70. So we know for these 7 beakers is 70 ml, and so milliliters. And so there's a nice handy-dandy drawing for what's going on here. Parents and teachers, I'm going to leave it up to you guys and your students to solve the rest of this problem. All right, so Mr. Chavez's 3rd graders go to gym class at 11:15. And then students rotate through 3 activities at 8 minutes each, and lunch begins at noon. So the question is, how many minutes are there between the end of gym activities and the beginning of lunch? You know what this strikes me as? This strikes me as a perfect opportunity for a number line. So we're going to start way down here at 11:15. This is the start of gym class. And we know way over here is 12 o'clock, and that's the start of lunch. And we're supposed to see, 3 activities at 8 minutes each. So let's do 1 activity of 8 minutes. So where does that put us? Where does that put us? Well, that puts us somewhere. I'm going to ignore that. And then we have another activity of 8 minutes, and that puts us here. And then we have our 3rd and final activity of 8 minutes, and that puts us here. All right, so I'm going to put a question mark as to what time is that. And then the other question that we're supposed to figure out is, how many minutes are there from the question mark till lunch? So this is the other question that we're going to be trying to figure out. So 2 pieces of information we need to figure out. Here is our ending time of gym class, And then the other question we need to know is, what's our gap between the end of gym and the start of lunch? I'm going to leave the rest of the actual mathematics for you third graders to solve on your own. All right, so a box contains 100 pens, and there are 38 black pens and 42 blue pens, and the rest are green. All right, so the rest are green. And then Mr. Kane, he buys 6 boxes of these things. He buys 6 boxes of pens. And the question is, how many green pens does he have in total? So I think what we're going to do is we're going to draw a tape diagram. And we know that the entire box of pens, is 100. And we know that, and I'm just going to put it right here. Here are the black pens, and there are 38 of them. And then, let's do, here are the blue pens, and we're told that there are 42 of them. And then the rest are green, and we don't know how many there are. So that's the first thing that we have to figure out. But then the other thing is, we know that Mr. Kane buys 6 of these boxes. So we're going to end up with 6 portions of green. So whatever your answer is for the green, whatever that answer is, we know we're going to take it and multiply by 6, and that is going to give us our desired answer. So parents and teachers, I'm going to leave it up to you to finish this problem. The idea is to have our students draw the pictures, reading the question multiple times so that they can accurately represent the problem. You know, quite frankly, math is not the hard part of word problems. The hard part of word problems is reading the word problems. And every word, every sentence, look at everything that I had to underline in order to really understand this question. So reading a math problem is the real focus of this lesson. So give your students plenty of opportunity to read a question, go back, read it again, draw some pictures, go back, read the question again, go back and draw some more of the picture, and they're just constantly going back and forth between reading the question and drawing the picture. And oftentimes my students will end up reading the question 4 or 5 or 6 times before they've finally solved the question. All right, so we have Greg. He's got 56 bucks. We have Tom. He has $17 more than Greg. And then we have Jason, who has $8 less than Tom. So how much money does Jason have? So what I've noticed is we have 3 characters. We have Greg, we have Tom, and we have Jason. And what I'm going to do, what I often do, is we start off with 3 equal-sized length tapes. So I want 3 of those, and I'm going to give those to each person. So now I've started that, and now I'm going to go back and I'm going to read the question, and I'm going to continue filling in my picture. It says Greg has $56. So we know that this tape right here is equal to 56. So let's put that in. That's equal to 56. Now here it says Tom has $17 more than Greg. So is Tom's tape longer than Greg's or shorter than Greg's? So we know it's going to be longer. So how much longer? Well, it doesn't matter how much I draw, but we know that it is $17 more than Greg. So now down here it says Jason has $8 less than Tom. So that means here's the Tom, and we know that we're going to start with Tom right here, but then we have to cross off 8 of it. We have to cross off 8. So we're supposed to try and figure out how much does Jason have? And there's our question mark right there. So let's see. Greg has $56. Tom has 17 more than Greg, so we just added on 17. And then Jason has $8 less than Tom, so we take Tom, which is down here, and then we subtract off 8. So how do we figure out how much Tom is? Well, Tom is going to be 56 plus 17 because these two bars are the exact same length. And then once we know how much Tom is, we know that we're going to take Tom's value and subtract 8, and that's going to give us Jason. I'm going to let you guys solve and do the actual arithmetic. In our last problem, Laura cuts 16 inches of ribbon into 2 parts and gives her mom 1 part. Laura's part is 28 inches long, and then her mom cuts her ribbon into 6 equal pieces. How long is one of her mom's little pieces of ribbon? Okay, so let's see. First it says Laura cuts 64 inches of ribbon into 2 parts. All right, so let's do that. So here's our ribbon, and we're going to cut it into 264, and we're going to cut it into 2 parts. And it doesn't really matter where we draw it. Boom, right there. And it says Laura's part is 28 inches long. So we're going to call this Laura. So this is Laura, and this is Mom. And Laura, we are told, is 28 inches long. So I'm going to go back. Now, do we know how much Mom's is? Well, not exactly, but we could figure it out. 64 minus 28. And that's going to give us Mom's length of ribbon. But then it says she cuts hers into 6 equal-sized pieces. So let's see. I'm going to get my purple pen here, and we're going to cut that into 6 equal-sized pieces. And there's our 6 equal-sized pieces. And so once we know the overall length by doing this subtraction, then we know that we need to cut it into 6 equal-sized pieces, and that'll give us the answer to one of those 6 pieces, and that's the answer we are looking for. And that wraps up 3rd grade Module 7, Lesson 3, where the focus is on problem solving and trying to find good and efficient and effective solution strategies. Parents and teachers, feel free to modify the homework. If 5 questions seems a little too long, modify it, make it a shorter assignment, or stretch it out over the course of 2 days, or have students solve them collaboratively in class, maybe as a jigsaw puzzle.